Section 1. The real story of Davos 2026. Every year, Davos looks like a gathering of elites talking in abstractions. It appears distant, a conference of world leaders and CEOs in a Swiss mountain resort. We see the headlines, hear the sound bites, and move on. But what if the real story isn't in the public announcements? What if the most important outcomes are the quiet alignments, the handshakes that change the global economy? In 2026, closed-door conversations were not just talk. They were the blueprint for decisions that will quietly reshape your job security, the interest rate on your mortgage, your weekly grocery bill, and how AI interacts with your daily work. The world is changing, and Davos is where the powerful agree on how. This isn't about grand declarations on stage. It's about something more subtle: alignment. When influential regulators, executives, and political leaders start thinking the same way about a problem, policy follows. The priorities they set become the rules your employer must follow, the economic pressures that define your cost of living, and the technologies that will create or eliminate jobs. What actually came out of Davos 2026, and why should you care? The discussions are over, but consequences are beginning to ripple outward, and they are heading directly for your wallet. In this analysis, we're going to decode those signals. We'll move past the jargon and the official summaries to see deeper currents. First, the macro lens. A world reorganizing into selective alliances, grappling with control over technologies like AI. A warning: rupture, not a transition. Then, the key signals. Future of work, the changing nature of inflation. Most importantly, translate trends into real-world impact, your career, your business, and your financial strategy. This isn't a distant forecast. It's a strategic briefing for a reality already forming. Davos confirmed a new era. Less about rapid growth, more about stability and control. The decisions have been made, the direction has been set. Now we must understand what it means for us. The central theme humming beneath the surface of every panel and private meeting at Davos 2026 was a quiet yet profound admission. The era of unrestrained globalization is over. That assumption has now been shattered.
In the midst of a rupture, not a transition.
Instead, it's about replacing a single open system with a network of strategic regional alliances. The phrase repeated in the hallways was that middle powers must act together, because if we're not at the table, we're on the menu. The relentless downward pressure on prices for consumer goods will ease. Supply chains will be rerouted through friendly, albeit more expensive, countries. The era of optimizing solely for price is giving way to optimizing for stability. Another powerful alignment solidified at Davos 2026 concerned the future of artificial intelligence. The initial phase, a kind of digital Wild West, is officially over. The new consensus is that the immediate priority must shift from pure creation to structured control. The consensus is that AI is knocking on the door of incredible capabilities, and the conversation is no longer about what AI can do, but what it should be allowed to do. The old model of periodic checkups is being discarded in favor of a new paradigm: continuous assurance. Palantir CEO Alex Karp's blunt warning that AI will destroy humanity's jobs highlights one side. However, NVIDIA's CEO Jensen Huang presented the other side, predicting a rise in manual and trade jobs. What this means for all of us is that AI will become both more powerful and more constrained. Its integration into our lives will feel more like a tightly regulated utility. The third major alignment at Davos 2026 was a sobering reckoning. A critical finding presented at the forum revealed total global debt, 235% of global GDP. This mountain of debt is colliding with two forces: slowing growth and aging populations. The persistent cost of living squeeze fuels voter frustration. Incumbent parties are on high alert. Voters, angry about affordability, are ready to show them the door. This dynamic puts immense pressure on public services, forcing governments into an impossible corner. The era of cheap money and endless government stimulus is over. This shift will directly impact your wallet. So, what does this all mean for you? If you're a professional, manager, or someone building a career, the great compression driven by AI is real, and it's accelerating. If your job is mainly processing information, drafting standard reports, summarizing research, performing routine analysis, you're in direct competition with an AI. The new premium will be on translator roles, those who can bridge technology and business needs, data and client strategy. Key skills: critical judgment, strategic thinking, persuasive communication, and building trust-based relationships, all hard for AI to replicate. If you run a business, the outcomes of Davos 2026 signal a more complex and costly operating environment. The first major pressure point is your supply chain. The era of sourcing from the cheapest possible global supplier is ending. Next, prepare for an age of regulatory density. It's no longer enough to just use a new technology. You will have to prove that you are using it responsibly and securely. Access to capital is also changing. Speculative business models will face intense scrutiny. Your ability to demonstrate operational discipline and profitability will be more important than a flashy growth story. For every household and consumer, the math of your monthly budget is changing. Not everything will get more expensive. AI is compressing white-collar jobs. Some digital services will get cheaper. The trade-off: goods involving physical labor will likely keep rising. The way you pay will evolve. A dramatic explosion in stablecoins and digital currencies, e-commerce platforms offering stablecoin discounts, cross-border remittances becoming cheaper and faster. Ultimately, become more strategic. Prioritize needs over wants. Seek value over the lowest sticker price. The most potent strategic takeaway for any individual is the urgent need to build a personal and professional moat, with adaptive skills that are difficult to automate. For business leaders, the strategic mandate is to pivot from growth at all costs to resilience at all costs. Invest in resilience, master regulatory complexity, and maintain strict operational discipline. Adaptability beats growth in this cycle. For investors, the strategic takeaways: demand a fundamental portfolio realignment. The flight to safety is a structural trend. The search for growth hasn't ended, but it has shifted to new areas. One of the most significant opportunities lies in the infrastructure of resilience. The rise of regional blocks also requires a new approach to geographic allocation. Overweighting your exposure to regional champions within stable economic blocks. The most important outcome of Davos 2026 isn't a policy or pledge, it's a mindset shift. The world is optimizing for resilience, not speed, and that changes how we all need to think, work, and plan. What part of daily life do you feel changing already? Work, costs, or opportunity? Understanding where you stand is the key to preparing for what comes next.